Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright, we're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _. Alright, now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, today we got an interesting one, and usually whenever we do a video on 051 Melly, it's an interesting one because it's a lot of controversy and rumors surrounding his death. Some people claim his death was because he was backdoored, and some say that the night Melly was shot and killed is because of how he may have been acting towards the guys he knew were his ops at the party that night. You know, a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of accusations going on. However, we're not here to speak on his death, but if you want to catch up and hear more on the story behind the fatal night 051 Melly lost his life, I'll provide links to the video we did already covering that story in the comments below, so y'all can go check it out. Now, today I want to speak on something that I had to go back and forth with people about, you know, when I first put out that video. And shout out to Chicago Rarest, because they seem to always have the exclusives when it comes to some of our legendary drill culture members. So when we actually covered the 051 Melly story, despite the situation being captured on film, and despite the rumors flying around that 007 Nate was a suspect who did it, everyone got in the comments saying things like, oh, Hookah, it wasn't Nate. That's just the internet saying that. Or Hookah, he was never arrested for it. He was never charged. So you throwing false accusations out there, messing people's lives up. Y'all know the typical thing where everyone else feels their facts is more valid than the next because they have whatever affiliation with this one or that one. So they say. But anyway, quick details before we get into the paperwork so we can all catch up and be on the same page here. Now, in the early morning hours of September 1st, 2019, 051 Melly was shot and killed after he appeared at a party in the West Woodlawn neighborhood on the south side of Chicago on the 6100 block of St. Lawrence Ave. Everything was cool until about 2:50 a.m. when an individual began shooting in the party, hitting 051 Melly in the chest, abdomen, and groin. A 34-year-old woman was also shot in the foot, but she survived, while Melly was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he later died due to his injuries. Now, he was only 27 years old, and once again, many rumors surrounded the incident, and although nobody was said to be officially arrested, 007 Nate, affiliated with Gyro City, was, but the charges were dropped. Now, if you go back to our video we did covering this, we spoke on it, and everybody claimed that it was cap, he wasn't arrested for it. But now official paperwork came out that he was in fact arrested, however the charges were dropped. And that's strange, but it could only be but for so many reasons, right? It could be because they didn't have enough evidence to make it stick, or they didn't have a witness, or maybe they just didn't care too much to pursue it. However, let's dive into the paperwork and see what it says. Now, if you look, Nathaniel Hicks, aka 007 Nate, was in fact arrested on September 18th, 2019 in Chicago, 17 days after Melly was killed, and was hit with 2 charges from that fatal night. Now, the first charge is murder in the first degree, and the second charge is aggravated battery and discharge of a firearm. Now, on the second document, it gives a clear description of Nate being arrested for Yarmel Williams' death, and we learn that he was identified by someone through pictures. All right, now it says, quote, "No BWG, this is an arrest by Area Central Detective Division. Above listed placed into custody at Cook County Jail. Nathaniel Hicks was positively identified by photo array as the offender who produced a firearm and began firing at victim Yarmel Williams, causing his death. As offender Hicks was shooting, victim blank was also shot in the left foot." I guess that's the female. They didn't want to show her name for whatever reasons. But it says offender Hicks transported to Area Central Detective Division, self-admitted Gyro City gangster disciple. Name check clear, detective decision to handle. So I also learned something new myself through this paperwork. Not only was the charges dropped, we learned that Nate was actually picked out and identified by someone through pictures as the suspect in Melly's murder. However, here's my thing, right? If the charge was dropped, Once again, that could mean a few things. Maybe whoever identified him through the pictures didn't pursue the process for whatever reason. Maybe the person was paid to leave the case alone, or was just asked to leave the case alone. Or maybe the police just didn't pursue it based on who Melly actually was. And the police was very acquainted with Melly, and we know Melly always gave them a hard time, so him dying, unfortunately, probably didn't mean not a thing to the police. Unfortunately. You know, they probably was actually relieved, and as crazy as that sounds, y'all know how these police are. When you a threat or you a problem in the streets, or they can't seem to pin anything on you, even though they know it's you, you become a headache. They get aggravated and don't care whether you live or die because you making it hard for them. You know? So, moral of the story is this, y'all. Nate was in fact charged with the murder for 051 Melly. However, for whatever reason, those charges were dropped. I'm sure in the near future, more will come out about this. I actually would like to know who the person was that pointed Nate out in the pictures and why they didn't pursue the process. You know, or if he or she did, why was the charges dropped in? And this Melly story is always interesting because it's a lot of mystery following his death, despite all the people that was actually in that party. It's surprising that to this day, we don't know anybody that came forward and spoke on what they saw. You know, was Melly that hated, or is people that afraid? You know, then the next question is this. With all them people in that party, in this generation of iPhones and people recording everything, how is it that we haven't had any other camera angle other than the one we already seen? You know, any footage? No, nothing. Nobody else had footage of the scene or whatever happened afterwards. You know, we live in an era where people pull their phones out and record before they even call the cops. So you mean to tell me that nobody got any other angle of what happened or even aftermath or anything? Melly body, you see what I'm saying? It's just all kind of strange. We only got that one footage from that one person in which we know what happened to him afterwards. You know, then also we can't forget that FBG Duck said himself that he warned Melly not to go to that party without him, you know, for whatever reason. Although to this day, a lot of people think FBG Duck had something to do with it. But me personally, I don't think so. I think Duck may have knew Guy's motives if they would have seen Melly by himself or knew some information, you know, from behind the scenes he probably couldn't say. But this is why he told Melly not to go there without him. You know, he seemed genuinely messed up that Melly lost his life that day. Some people think different, but like I said, I feel Duck didn't have no parts in that situation. And if y'all go back to the story that we did, like I said, I'm gonna pin it in the comments so y'all can check it out. If you go back to the story, we already tell y'all that Melly was a renegade. He didn't care who you was. You could have been a part of whatever gang he was in. You could have been a part of the ops or actually a GD or whatever. You know, he was a renegade. Somebody we call a renegade. Somebody that don't care what gang you in. If he has a problem with you, he's going to come after you. So it could have been a mixture of things. Like I said, y'all just check out the video. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, man. More of the story, like I said before, the charge was dropped against 007 Nate. However, he was in fact charged with the murder. Why they were dropped, we don't know. Who the person was that actually pointed him out, that made him a suspect to begin with and got him arrested, we don't know. Alright, other than that, I guess we'll find out in the near future. As for now, y'all get in the comments, let me know how y'all feel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.